Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's hump day. Hump day, hump day, hump day. Oh man, I'm asking questions already. Let me pull that down real quick. So happy to be here, so happy to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your day. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, hope your day is off to an amazing start. And if you're just getting up, maybe putting makeup on, we have a lot of things happening right now in your spaces. Yes, sir, Craig G. Haha, that midday magic. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'd like to welcome everybody to the morning motivation show podcast. I don't know. I'm old school. Podcasts are normally done without video. This is used to be what they call a vlog. So I get stuck between calling this a show and a podcast, but culture is changing. So we used to say bad was a bad thing, but now bad was a good thing. Now, culture, word shift, change. But anywho, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamon Glover. I am a personal and family development coach. I operate one of the newest at the moment coaching and consulting company for men as it relates to overall manhood, family success, etc., etc. I'm also a best-selling author. See, I keep saying it because it's gonna happen. I am an author of two books: Thrive: Turning Trials into Victory, and How to Change Your Life in 2 Hours. So I've been in this space for some years. I've had to do a lot of miraculous changes on myself. And today we're going to talk about how to reinvent yourself. But before I get going too much, my audio sounding good, my level sounding good to you guys. Shoot me a thumbs up if everything is sounding good. I had to readjust some stuff last night, but I think I got to dial back in. And I think it actually sounds a little bit better than it did before. So just curious on that. So today I want to get into, before we get into the gratitudes, I want to set the scene. I want to really dig into the topic of reinventing ourselves. Appreciate you, Craig. I really want to dig into the topic of what it means, what it looks like to reinvent yourself. Because we don't really see the world as it is. We see the world as we are from our perspective, our worldview. That's generally how we see things. And there was a book written by a guy named Napoleon Hill, almost 100 years ago now, I believe, called Think and Grow Rich. And one of the things that he talked about in his book was simply, if you change your perspective on a thing, you change how you see the thing. And if you grew up in the culture, the game don't change, just the players. Old school cats used to always say that. It's not the game that's changing, it's the players. The players are the ones who are new to this game. In life, I've been slowly building to something. today will be a first peek into actually what it is. But Monday we talked about actually knowing yourself, knowing who you are, where you came from, your family history and genetics and all of that stuff. Yesterday we dug a little deeper into, keep living. The young don't always see what they don't see. They don't know what they don't know. Then there's the clashes of culture and all those things that happen that kind of inform who we are. And now we're transitioning into the space where we're become adults. Some of us are 18 on the head, some of us are 25, 30 even. But when we hit this space where life has its boot, its foot in this big boot on our neck, and it's either pushing our faces into the mud, into the water, or it's just applying a lot of pressure. And so many times we experience that. And we don't understand always how we got there. But I want to tell a little story, just a build up story. When we are born, babies, newborn babies, we know about three things. We know we like to eat, we don't like loud noises, we don't want to fall. And if I'm wet, I need to get that off of me, right? Babies don't know a whole lot. So there are blank canvases that you can paint any picture on. You can program any message into any lifestyle. You can you can tell a child that the sky is pink and they will believe it because as the parent, you are their first teacher. You are the one that informs all of their decision making. They base their standards, their morals, their characters, everything off of you. The family programming is undefeated in most cases. The genetic programming, the things that you picked up from your mother's side of the family or your father's side of the family, those the color of your eyes, the height, the stature, the body build, the way you talk. On my father's side, they stutter. On my mother's side, they fast talkers. So what did I come out? I come out as a mumbling, stuttering, fast talking guy. No control over that. None. I've had to go through speech programs, Toastmasters, all kind of rehabilitative strategies just so I can talk in a way that people can understand me. And it's been a lot of work because you can't. Genetics is undefeated. Craig G said, I know a little that won't. I know a little that won't expect that programming. I know a little that won't accept that program. I'm not sure I catch your meaning there, Craig, but I know you get what I'm saying. Great morning to you, Gary. Great morning, my brother. Great morning. Gary is the guy who told me once upon a time that I was 5 foot tall and 5 foot wide the first time he saw me. I'll never forget that. Gary has a way of standing out in people's minds and memory banks. Great brother. Great brother. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Except, yep, I got you, Craig. I got you. And so when it comes to our genetic, when it comes to the genetic code that we get from our parents, we have no say so in the matter. When it comes to the religion that we're born into, when it comes into the family traditions, the cultural expectations, we don't have a say in any of that. Nah, Gary, I'm shaking your head, brother. It's all good, bro. That was probably one of the greatest compliments I've been paid, man. I'll be honest with you. Because I'm gonna get there today. I have been working on myself for a very long time because the programming that I was given, it wasn't bad programming. My parents did the best they know how to do, and I'm sure yours did as well. Considering everything that's going on, trying to survive in a country, especially if your complexion looks like mine, you're trying to survive in a country, you're trying to raise children, keep them alive, and everybody seems to be against you. Nobody wants to help you get ahead. Nobody wants to extend that hand up. And if they do, it comes with so many barriers and roadblocks that it's not even worth accepting sometimes. So I get it. I don't blame my parents. You shouldn't blame your parents either. Matter of fact, as a parent, you should give yourself a lot more grace because you are doing the best you can in the moment. You can't give what you don't have. Your parents couldn't give you what they didn't have. So give them some grace. Forgive them if you haven't. Forgive them. Let them release them. I mean, holding the grudges, it's like, I think somebody said it's like drinking poison. You drinking poison, hoping they get sick. That's all unforgiveness is. People do what they do in the time that they do it. Sometimes they're not ready to see or not ready to understand because they don't know what they don't know. You see, what we're building here is a whole new world perspective, a whole new mind shift to get us into better positions in life, better places in life, because we don't see the world as it is. We see it as we are. Just want to drop that bomb on you real quick because we don't see the world the way it is. We see it as we are. The good news with that, yes, you may have woken up and your neck is hurting from all the kicks you've taken. Yep. You may have self sabotaged so many times. Yep. You may have done all of the things that you were even told that you shouldn't do. You had some guidance, some kind of wisdom, and somebody said, don't cross this bridge, don't do this thing, and you may have went ahead and done it anyway. And now you're suffering some consequences. You're paying some prices. Everything in life has a price. I think the old people call it, people that done got to the point where they're no longer have the strength to go work or go do things that they used to do. The people who have gotten to a space where they've actually kind of given up on certain pursuits. And this is not an age. This is a mindset, mind you. This is a mindset. People who have gotten to a place where they no longer have the will or desire to fight anymore. This person could be 40. This person could be 26. This person could be 107. There's no age associated with this old that I'm saying. But it normally happens to people probably around their late 60s, early 70s, if you want to put an age on it. And the thing is called regret. Oh, I wish I would have done those things. Oh, I wish I could have done this. Oh, man, I wish I would have done more of that. And they start drinking this tea called regret. Matter of fact, for some of us, it's 40 ounces. We turn the whole regret bottle up and we consume it. And we go into this self-loathing place and this woe is me place. But the good news is we can't help the programming that we came with. We can't help the programming our parents put into us, our community, our culture, our church, religion, whatever. We had no control over that. But now we get to choose. We get to choose if we look like this or we look like this. This was me this year. Yep, Gary, the coulda, the shoulda, woulda, couldas. I woke up one day and I decided that I didn't want to look like this guy anymore. I didn't want to be him anymore. His health was all over the place. All his levels were rising. His clothing were a little too snug. He didn't feel self-confident anymore. The man that this used to be, the athlete that he used to be, he couldn't do any of those things anymore. But he still had the attitude of the guy that used to do it. This guy would be put to sleep on the sidewalk on a Saturday night thinking he was somebody that he wasn't. Just real talk. Real talk. This guy would have been asleep somewhere because he'd been running his mouth thinking he was the bad boy that he used to be, or that he proclaimed that he was at one point in his life. And so I decided one day to be this guy. This guy. Why? Because I get to choose. I get to decide who I am, who I'm going to be. You see, this guy, he went through a depression for quite some time, roughly 8 years. 8 years where he ate himself into a coma, a fat suit. He drank himself into oblivion. He smoked himself up because he was self medicating from a lot of challenges and trying to hide from a lot of feelings. That guy was the guy who was suffering from all of that genetic issue, all of the bad programming. That guy was not the guy that was going to be able to take this guy to my next level. So I made a decision one day. At all costs, I'm getting this weight off of me. I made a decision some years back. At all costs, I'm going to learn how to speak better. I don't want to be talking super fast and mumbling, and people can't. They got to keep asking me over and over again, "What you say? What you say?" Or eventually, they just like, "Yeah, what the heck he just said?" But whatever, whatever. I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted people to understand me because I knew I had something to say. So for 8 years, I went through a space that everything that I thought, everything that I believed was centered around how I felt, what didn't happen, what I thought should have happened. And when it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, I self medicated with food, drink, with tobacco. And I stayed away from the people that was really making moves because I didn't feel like I belonged. No, and that was the worst thing I could have done. Because now when I went to plug back in, those guys had already moved on. Those girls had already moved up. They were no longer where I was, even though I I flipped the switch in my mind and in my body and in my thought process. The people that I was on the same level with, they've gone on to new and better things. So, today we're talking about reinventing ourselves. So, question of the day. Now we can get back to this question of the day. If I could, or you could, Thanos snap. Where we at? My Thanos snap. If we could Thanos snap and create the perfect life, what would your life look like? If you could Thanos snap, create the perfect life, make some things go away that have been holding you up, make some things new that you want to see, what would your life look like? And for those who don't catch the Thanos snap reference, I can't do nothing for you. So I'll say, if you had a magic wand, or if you had 3 wishes, whatever it is, how would your life look if you could change it tomorrow? What different things would you be doing now? What problems would you be suffering with or afflicted with? What is what are those heart desires that if money was no object, you would go and do? Ooh, I like that. I like that, Gary. Gary said no fear. No fear. That's a powerful one. That is a powerful one. We're going to talk more about fear as we go along down the road, Gary. But since you put that out there, I'm going to say it this way. Fear is the is one of the easiest things to conquer. However, it is also the biggest bully. Fear is the biggest bully ever, but it's also just like any big bully. Is normally you punch it in the face one good time and normally leaves you alone. Uh, Back to flying. Oh yeah, I remember Craig was adamant that he wanted to fly. He wanted to be, whether it was a helicopter pilot or whatever. He wanted to fly. He wanted to go through those skies. And yeah, getting back to that, I would love to see that. Not sure I'm not sure I'm gonna hop in the seat with next to you, but I would love to see you doing it. Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am. I am. If I could do my Thanos snap, and I like my Thanos snap. Let's do it again. There we go. I like my Thanos snap. If I could snap my fingers, and you said, Jermaine, you said it's silent too. Oh, talking about fear. Fear. Okay, I think he's talking about fear. Shoot me a thumbs up if you mean you talking about fear. Fear. Oh, there you go. Fear is not noticed at times. That's right. Fear is insidious. It is very insidious, and it just hides out in the back of your mind, not making no waves until you say, "You know what? I'm gonna do this today." There it is. It starts massaging your head. It come around to your ears, the hair on the back of your neck stand up, and you got this feeling that just don't feel right. There it is, fear. Now it's choking you out. But yeah, we're not gonna give fear no too many more props this morning because we're gonna talk about how to knock that bully out real soon. But if I had my Thanos glove and I snapped myself into a new reality, my reality would be me living on a bunch of land with a huge pond or lake on it. And I can go fishing anytime that I wanted, or I can go out and hunt on my land, or I can build a studio on this part and I can still create content. I could travel and I could do all of these beautiful things. Money would not be a problem because I'll be making somewhere around upwards of $100,000 a month. Those things, if I could snap my Thanos glove, I will make those things happen in my life. So you know what I did? Y'all remember my card, my gold card? All of those things are on my gold card. I am no longer waiting for the magic trick, the magic wand, three wishes. I am deciding. Now I get to decide that I can have all of those things because, yes, Gary, it is possible. And y'all know I'm tripping, but I wanted to hold gratitudes off until about this time because I want you to understand right now where you are. You can thank that person that used to be you for getting you here, but that person can't get you to the next space, can't get you to the next place. There you go. See that little stutter trying to come back right now. Devil is a lie. All right, let's get into these gratitudes real quick. And I know by now you already have your gratitudes already written down. So I'm gonna give you the first few 20, 30 seconds just to kind of start saying your gratitudes to yourself. And then I'll join in. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my health, my strength, being in my right mind. I'm grateful for my family's well-being. I'm grateful for my parents that are still with us. My mother, who's been fighting through cancer since 2017, on chemo for almost 6 years, almost unheard of. I'm grateful for her fight, for her struggle. I'm grateful for her example that you never give up. I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful for everybody that's in the chat right now and that's watching this broadcast. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful to have a love person that cares for me, take cares, nurtures me. I'm grateful for new opportunities in business. I'm grateful for the old me because he has gotten me to be this version of me. So I'm grateful. All right. We've gotten those gratitudes knocked out. I hope you have been writing yours. And just to show you guys, this is one of my little index cards. It's like a notebook for index cards. And I have my gratitudes. These are more just general gratitudes that I have. They're not as specific as my goal card, but I'm always writing these things down because in life, you're going to find out where you focus the most, your energy goes there the most. Your thoughts go there the most. Wherever you give the most time to, whatever you give the most time to, it happens for you. If you're doing these negative affirmations every day and, oh, I'm not anything, nobody loves me, nobody cares about me, nobody respects me, then you're going to get more of that. You're going to get people giving you those outcomes and those things. So I try to make sure that I'm writing down the things that I'm grateful for. My affirmations, things that I want to accomplish, things that I want to see happen. No longer am I going to wait on some mystical thing to happen, some lottery ticket, if you will, to change my life. First inside, then out. That's how it happens. That's how everything happens. It happens on the inside. When you plant a seed in the ground, it doesn't grow outside first. It dies in the ground and becomes something new. And that's what all of us must do. Unless you want to drink. Speaking of drinking, I got a cup of coffee right here. So if you ain't got your coffee this morning, if you got it, cheers. That's right, Gary. Where the mind goes, the energy flows. So you are the director, the producer, the creator of your story and your life. I hope you are choosing to make it a good one. Make it a victorious one and not a tragedy. Maybe a little bit of a comedy from time to time, but in the end, you should win. The hero, be the hero of your own story. So, what are we talking about today? We're really going to focus, we're going to dial in a little bit more on reinventing yourself. Reinventing yourself. And it's easy for people to say it, but I promise you, it's not super easy to do. And instead of giving you more, I guess, insight or stories into my life, I want to talk about a few people this morning that we're going to cover a little bit more in depth in the coming days or weeks. And the first person I want to really talk about is J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling is the author of the Harry Potter series. I think most of us have at least seen the Harry Potter series by this point in time in our lives. And J.K. Rowling's, or Rawlings, I think it's pronounced. She was um single mom. She had gotten married, had a kid, and then just the fact she got married, she got divorced. So now she's a single mom, struggling to make it, and she would take her daughter to the community or the neighborhood coffee shop, and she would sit there and she started writing the Harry Potter book. I think she finished writing it in '93. When she finished with the conception of it, she finished it in '93, and she shopped it around for 2 years. And everybody just kept telling her, no, this is not, yeah, it's not a good story. It's too much witchcraft. It's too much this, too much that. But she finally found somebody, and they said, we'll take a chance on you. And it was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I think that was the first one that she wrote. And somebody printed the book, and it became a bestseller. And of course, now we know that it's super exceeding every expectation. She's a legend. She's cemented a Hall of Fame writer now because of that whole series. I've watched the movies. I did read one book, but I watched the movies because I'm just more of a sci-fi guy, and I'm always moving. So movies are better for me. A little bit of touch of ADHD in there, so it's hard for me to sit still and just read, unless I'm just in an emotional space where I'm charged and I need to stabilize or focus, or I'm really searching for some answers. But just on a regular day, I gotta listen to it or I gotta watch it. And so let me read this little bit of this article about J.K. Rowling. It says, she was a single mom and wrote Harry Potter in longhand form on tablets while sitting at cafes as her baby slept in her stroller. What most people may not realize is that she began the book in 1990 after the idea came to her in full form on a 4-hour train ride. By 1993, she had only written the first 3 chapters of what would become Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. In the interim, life happened. She got married, had an infant daughter, and divorced. She was depressed and had to go on welfare. She finally finished the book in 1995, and after several publishers rejected it, it was published in '97. And of course, the rest is history. Now, what I really want to focus on is what she had to say at this commencement address she gave at Harvard. She said, failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was. And I began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I really succeeded at anything else, I might never have found the determination to succeed in only one arena I believe I truly belonged in. Okay, I know that was long. I apologize for that. But the point is, she said that her failure is what made her lose her fear. Her failure is what made her lose her fear, and it helped her chase that dream. Had she been successful in anything else, she may not have continued doing the one thing that she really wanted. You see, culture, our family, our lives, there's so much pressure and expectations to do this thing or do that thing. Well, this isn't working, so maybe you should focus on that. But what do you want? Because as an adult, you get to decide. As a parent, it has to be one of the scariest things. I've experienced it. Most of the parents that I've worked with have experienced this, knowing I have this small life in my hands, and my ability to lead is going to determine if they are successful in life, if they're going to be worthy of our last name, worthy of being here, or are they going to be just toxic people, just destroying? And it all rests on me as a parent and what I know and what I don't know. That's the hardest question that most parents have to wrestle with, because we all grew up and realized we didn't get everything that maybe we thought we should have. Sometimes we hold on to it a little bit too long instead of focusing on, okay, now that I am here today, what do I want? And so she hung out at those cafes, writing her books with her daughter sleeping in the stroller, because she decided she wanted to reinvent herself. Yes, she was divorced. Yes, she was a single mom, but that will not be the end of her story. Not be the end of her story. There's also the guy by the name of Ray Kroc, the guy who blew McDonald's up. McDonald's was a burger stand out in Cali. Ray Kroc was a milkshake salesman. He was selling milkshakes to all the chain restaurants. He pulls over into McDonald's and be like, man, y'all got some good burgers in here. I love these burgers. And paired with my milkshake, this is good business. Y'all should think about expanding. They was like, no, we're good. This is already too much for us. We're good. He got an idea. I sell milkshakes. However, if they could give me a license to sell their burgers with the milkshakes in other places, I can make money. Now, Ray was over 50. He was like 52, 54. He was much older than J.K. Rowling when she started writing Harry Potter. He had already settled into the life. I'm just a salesman. I'm going restaurant to restaurant, door to door. I'm selling these burgers, and that's just what my life is going to be. But he decided when he saw a great idea, I can reinvent myself. I don't have to be just a milkshake salesperson. And so, it's one other person that I really want to highlight today is the boy 50. 50. Give Rich or Die Trying 50. 50 Cent. If you from the community, you know 50 Cent started out on the streets. Mother was a drug dealer, killed when he was a kid, lived with his grandparents in a small cramped house with a lot of people, started selling drugs himself. And as most kids that come from the community in that life, making it to 21, that's a privilege. You're lucky if you make it to 21. Because the street life was just so violent. It was dog eat dog out there. But 50 knew he knew before he got shot 9 times. But he really, after he got shot, he decided, I don't want to live this street life anymore. I want to do something more productive. I want to be wealthy. I want to be rich. I want to have multiple businesses and companies. But this rap thing is going to be my ticket in. And so what'd he do? He finally got in. He finally got a major deal. He didn't take his advance money and go buy cars and gold chains. You know what he did? He went and trademarked the name 50 Cent. Oh, he went and trademarked his name. And that name today is making him millions every year. Because he decided at an early age, I don't want what I've been programmed into. I don't want that life. I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want those realities and outcomes anymore. So my question to you today, what do you want? Are you tired of the outcomes that you have been getting? Are you tired of the results that you receive over and over again? Are you attracting the same type of people in your life? Same negative thoughts. You might as well be watching news stations every morning for the rest of your life dealing with some people that because all they bring is negative energy and negative drama. And what you have to ask yourself, what J.K. Rowling said, she had to accept who she was, not who she thought she was. She had to accept who she was in this moment. I am a divorced single mom. If I stay in this mindset, my prospects do not look good. Ray Kroc could have said, I just sell milkshakes to people who have businesses and make more money. 50 could have said, I'm just going to be a dope boy and I'm gonna hustle for the summer. And if I make it to see next summer, I make it to see next summer. It is what it is. Now, if you can write today, I want you to take down these 3 things that you can do immediately to start turning your life around or reinventing yourself. You can start doing this absolutely immediately. And it's some of the things that I had to do. So I know that they work. This won't be the first time we talk about these. So if you can't write right now, don't worry. Catch the replay or wait for the next time they come along. But the first thing you have to do, you have to give honor and respect where honor and respect is due. So that means you have to actually appreciate the old you, all the contributions, all the sacrifices. Remember, I asked you the other day for a homework assignment to go and thank the younger version of you, the one who had to endure, the one who had to overcome, the one who had to learn things to get them through. Well, you have to appreciate that old version of yourself. Thank him, her, for what they did, what they added, what they had to overcome so you can be where you are now. That's the first step. Appreciating the old you. So many times we go through these journeys and all we see is mountaintop, 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 and we're climbing, we're running for that mountaintop, and then we get there and then we realize there's a valley and another mountaintop. We never enjoy the journey. We never take a time to sit back and look at what we've accomplished because we're too busy looking at the next valley and the next mountaintop to climb. Give honor and respect to yourself for what you have endured. Yes, sir, that girl put in some work. Bobby, you right. That girl put in work. And so if we're fortunate enough to have people around us who celebrate us, who encourage us, who tell us that we're doing amazing jobs, it may not be as critical. However, we don't always have that. So we got to learn to do it for ourselves, to appreciate our own growth, our own journey. Number two, you have to evaluate where you are and be completely honest with yourself about what you are. You can't take a lie into the future and expect it to grow. You can't take bad seed or a good seed and drop it in the middle of the street and expect to get a return. You have to understand these seeds that I have right now, they're not good seeds. So I got to put them in some really good soil to help them out a little bit. They're not the best. You have to put the good where it can grow the most, or the bad where it can be reshaped and reformed the most. And the third thing is design the new you. Let's go back to the Thanos glove. Design the new you. If you could snap away all of the negative things in your life, what would your life look like? That is your design. Those things that you want, yes, it's possible. It's possible. You can have it. You go back and me and my wife, 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, had you told me we would be where we are today, I would have called you a bald-faced liar. I would have said it because, and not because neither one of us had the potential, but we were both coming from places where we were kind of at our lowest. I was still coming out of my depression years. She had herself come through some life-changing things. And we were two people who were flawed in a way. We were living, and I'm talking about my wife, so I'm trying to make sure I'm making my words carefully because I don't want to get popped inside my head when I leave here. So y'all bear with me a little bit. But we were both in places where were not healthy, here or here. We had both encountered a lot of trauma, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of disappointments, and I was intent to break up with her because I didn't want to bring no more bad vibes into her life. I didn't want to bring no more drama or toxic energy into her life because she had had enough. And I didn't know exactly what I was looking for. But you know what? She wouldn't let me go. She told me if I tried to pack one more bag, she was fighting me. Maybe not exactly in those words, but that was her and that was the meaning that I received from it. Because I was so conscious of my failures that I couldn't see the future that was right in front of me. She had her own moments where she was so focused on what she thought was the ideal thing that she didn't see the future that was ahead of us. And today, together, we have affirmed each other. We have built each other. We have done therapy together. We've cried together. We've been brutally honest with one another about who we were, and where we wanted to go. And now together, oh, we're going there. Everything that we've tried to conceive of, we've manifested. And so this list of things that I've been telling you about, oh, it's gonna happen. I have no doubts because I've seen too much. I've seen it work too many times. I've seen it work too many times. And not just for me. All these people around us. J.K. Rowling, 50 Cent, Ray Kroc, you name 1,000 other people who come from places that they should not be successful, but they were because they imagined that they could be. They decided to reinvent themselves. If you knew me yesterday, well, pleasure to meet you. My name is Jamon. We're meeting for the first time because today I am a new person. I am a new creation of my own design. I decided that I no longer wanted to be in these spaces, that I wanted to operate in these spaces. So guess what? Now I operate in those spaces. So that's how you recreate yourself. And I know it took us a while to get there, but I needed to paint that picture that we can't help where we come from. We can't help how we are indoctrinated. We have no control over those things. But once you become an adult, you now get to choose and decide who you want to be, who you will become, what you're willing to go through to get it. Nobody can take that from you. In these circumstances, anyway, we live in one of the freest countries in the world where you can be whatever. Why not be something that you choose? Why not create the best version of yourself every day? And you're never going to get there. You're never going to finish because you're always going to be growing. There's always going to be opportunity for growth. Always going to be opportunities for growth. All right, it's time to get into these affirmations. I feel a charge. I feel a buzz happening right now in the room. So let's get ready. Let's affirm those things. Call those things that be not as though they were. I am more than enough. I am happy and excited to turn my yearly income, my last year's income, into next month's income. I am happy and excited that I get to travel the world, meet interesting people, do new things. I am happy and excited to be a role model for my children, to impact tens of thousands of families every year. I am happy and excited to be a highly sought out speaker, coach, to have founded the #1 coaching and consulting company for men and family success. I am happy and excited to be the owner of multiple homes and properties, to be able to leave a multi-million-dollar legacy to my children and their children and their children. I am so happy and excited for the journey of being me, because I am more than enough. I am an overcomer. I am a conqueror. I am blessed and highly favored. I am the chosen one from my family. I'm the one that's going to rewrite what it looks like to be a Glover, a father, a husband, a son, a brother, I am more than enough, and I am worthy. I am worthy. And so are you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? How was today? Did it make sense to you? Were we able to see some things that may not have been completely within our control initially, but now we understand that we are responsible for it. Now we understand that we get to choose. We understand that, one of the biggest fears that I had was growing old and waking up with a bunch of regret. I never wanted that. So I've always been the person that I'm always tinkering with myself. I'm always fixing parts of myself, trying to make things better, because I no longer want to be the guy on the left. I love this guy here on the right. He moves better freely. He's more confident when he walks into spaces. The guy on the left, that guy was a victim of life. And he was just floating along, going along just to get along. No more of letting life happen to me. No more of letting life happen to you. You get a chance to decide. So I want you to start dialing in, laser focus and start shaping and crafting who you are, who you want to be, because that's what life is all about. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the show this morning. Congratulations, you made it. You made it. You made it. A lot of things happened here today. I'm excited that we're into our second week. And we're going strong. I'm getting a lot of feedback and people are happy and excited. So if you are enjoying this broadcast, I would love for you to share this message. Share this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Make sure you like the shows. Help me rank higher in the YouTube algorithm so this message can be pushed out to more people. Like, comment, share, subscribe. That is the only thing I'm asking. That's the only price that I'm charging right now. Just give me that so we can get this message to the world, because you heard my information. I do this because I love you. Because if you're better, your family is better, your children are healthier. My children have somebody to play with, have somebody to partner with, to build with. Coalition, unity. And the more unified we become as a community, the better outcomes we can all have. I'm talking about ownership. I'm talking about not just existing in a space, but having power in a space to determine what happens. That's our right. And we deserve it. But we gotta start somewhere. Appreciate it, RD Price. Shout out to you. Yo, that chick, yo, shout out. Gary Johnson, shout out. Craig G, always supporting you boys. Shout out. Jermaine, you know I got love for you, brother. Thank you. Bobby sweetie. Oh, to the moon and back, baby. There is no limit. There is no limit. Let's make sure I ain't left anybody out. Brick by brick. I haven't seen you today, brother, but appreciate you always being around. Good looking out. That's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Have a lot of things to do today. Not as busy as yesterday, but it's hump day. The middle of the week. Let's close it out. Let's close it out stronger than we started. We got this. You got this. I believe in you. I hope you believe in yourself. So until tomorrow, we will continue with this whole Know Thyself series. Tomorrow we're going to talk about changing your world. How do you change your world? How do you get those better results? How do you do those things? That's coming tomorrow. So you guys be blessed. Much peace, love, respect.